How's it going, everyone? I'm the Shaz here, welcoming you to another SIFAS video. This time we're going to go over training and general insight skills. For most of you veteran players, this is information you already know, but I'd like to get this out there for our newer player base. In this video, I'll go over main scoring unit insights, backline insights, card-specific insights, and why certain insight skills, like Rainbow Voltage Plus, should never be held onto. First, let's go over insights you'll want to get on your main scoring units. What do I mean by main scoring units? Cards that you would normally use to gain your voltage. In this example, my main scoring strategy is green, which includes a Limit Break 1 Con on 1, a Limit Break 2 Kotori 1, and a Limit Break 0 Rico 2. Because at least 2, if not all 3, are going to be in my main scoring strategy for most songs at this point, during training, I want to shoot for the most useful insight skill for my main scoring subunit, a passive appeal plus medium same strategy insight skill, which gives a 2% appeal buff to each card in that card's strategy. If all 3 cards have 2 of these insights, each card will benefit from a 12% appeal boost for the song. Now, what happens if I don't pull that particular insight skill but get something similar? Well, depends on what cards you have in your main scoring strategy. In this example, if I don't get Appeal plus Medium same strategy, I would like to get either Appeal plus Medium same year on Rico or Kotori, Appeal plus Medium same type on Kanan or Kotori, or Appeal plus Medium same school on Kanan or Rico. All of these instances will give me a 4% appeal boost on 2 of my cards, rather than a 4% appeal boost for 3, which is still fine. If you get some of the other insight skills that are just not any good, Rainbow Voltage Plus, it doesn't mean you can't use the card. Just wait until you have enough training tickets and insight pins to try and roll for the desired insight skills. I know you may be saying, Shaz, I can't even pull these skills during my training. RNGesus hates me. Don't worry. These skills are actually pretty tough to come by. For the passive appeal plus medium skills, the highest known drop rate in any training combination is only 3%, with most only coming at a 1% drop rate. Next, let's go over backline insights. Shaz, what do you mean by backline insights? When you hear me talk about backline cards, they will generally be cards that you only use for their passive abilities and live show active abilities. For example, let's take a look at Initial Honoka, or Honoka 1. At Limit Break 0, she has high base stamina, her passive ability increases the stamina of all other cards by 4.6% at ability level 3, and she has a live show active that, when activated during an appeal chance, recovers stamina equal to 20% of her current stamina. This is a card you would normally use as what we call a stamina stick, with the main purpose to increase your overall stamina pool. First things first, because the odds of rolling passive appeal plus medium insights of any type is super low, I would try to do training with either meditation times 3 or meditation plus push-ups times 2 to look for this skill, the Silver Appeal plus Small Group skill, which gives a 1% appeal boost to all cards other than itself. This insight skill, according to saganoblog.com, drops at a 16% rate for those 2 training combinations. Ideally, what kind of insights do we want to run on these backline cards if we run them in our sample team? Well, the general consensus insight for any backline card that is running a 2 voltage, 1 healer or shielder strategy is Passive Appeal plus Medium Group, which gives a 2% appeal boost to all cards that aren't itself. Why is this? As the card pool increases, and you acquire new cards and limit break your older ones, this insight skill will always remain the same. You won't have to worry about rolling a new skill for this card unless newer insight skills get introduced later down the line. If we can't get the desired insight skill, well, after that, in my opinion, it depends on your song setup and the commonalities of your stronger cards. If you want to add Honoka 1 and you have a lot of second years in your main scoring strategy plus center 3, look for the Appeal Plus Medium Same Year Insight. If you want to add Honoka 1 and your main scoring strategy plus Center 3 has a lot of Muse cards, go for the Appeal Plus Medium Same School. Again, this all depends on what cards you have pulled and which cards you utilize the most for your scoring. Other decent or good backline cards that you may own: Ruby 2 from the Kimono event, Maru 2 from the hiking event, especially if you have any combination of Ruby 1, Umi 2, Pana 1, or Festival Setsuna, Pana 1, Riko 1, Yoshiko, Yohane 2, or my apparently new favorite card if you saw my alt account scouting video, Chica 1. Now, let's get into card-specific insights. An argument can be made that there are certain cards that are actually better with a different set of insight skills, particularly the skill activation plus insight skills. Interestingly, most of these cards fall into one of two main categories: shield cards or SP gauge fill cards. For me personally, I tend to search for skill activation plus insights more so on my SP gauge field cards than shielders, because I'm normally only running one shielder, whereas for SP gauge fill cards, I could be running 2 or even 3 in one strategy if I'm trying to clear a harder song with an early appeal chance that has an SP gauge usage requirement, like the first appeal chance for Kanata's second solo, My Own Fairy Tale, or when it comes to the global server, Heart to Heart. The downside of searching for these skill activation plus insights is twofold. First, the increase in skill activation rate is very small, anywhere from 0.3% for a skill activation plus small passive to 1% for a skill activation plus large self passive, and the drop rate is very low, normally only 1 or 2%. However, again, the argument can be made if you are running multiple of these SP gauge fill cards in the same strategy, getting a couple of these insights on these cards can help dramatically. Let's take Pana 2 for example, an event card a lot of you probably have. Putting an Appeal Plus passive on her doesn't help a ton. However, her SP gauge fill skill activates at a 33% rate. If she has 2 skill activation plus large self insights, in addition to being on a full SK team, her skill has a 50% chance to activate. Why is this important? Well, coming down the road very soon on the global server is a new event type called Super Big Live, or SBL for short. It is a 20-person lobby where you and 19 other players will compete for highest voltage, highest skill activations, most SP gauges used, and overall song MVP, which is the person who does best in all 3 categories. Based on how well your lobby does on a particular song, you will get coins which you can then exchange for items and cards, such as past event URs and SRs, regular scouting tickets, max, and other things. On the JP server, I don't have a bunch of busted voltage cards, so what I try to do is utilize the cards I have to maximize my chances of getting one of the other 2 category MVPs. The easiest one of these for me is the SP gauge usage MVP. You can sometimes win this category of MVP with 10 SP gauge uses, and with certain tap notes during the live filling your SP gauge, this is very possible if you just get a little lucky. Finally, let's go over some insight skills that, while they look fancy, are freaking garbage. First, let's go over the Gold and Rainbow Voltage Plus skills. Why are these so freaking bad? Well, first off, they have a 26 and 30% chance, respectively, to activate at the beginning of a live. Secondarily, they only give a percentage of your appeal at the beginning of a song as voltage. And that's it! It does nothing else other than that. Take the Rainbow Voltage Plus skill on the strongest scorer in the game, Festival Setsuna. If you happen to have a max limit break Festival Setsuna with this skill and it happens to trigger, how much voltage will it get you? Assuming she doesn't have an accessory equipped to her, and there are no other Appeal Plus passives in her strategy other than her own, she starts off with 14,874 appeal on a song with no attribute penalties. If she has a Rainbow Voltage Plus skill and it triggers, this will get her a grand total of 5,950 voltage. You normally get 3 to 5 times that in a single tap. The rest of the Rainbow skills are similarly bad, but not as prevalent as the Voltage Plus one. This skill activation rate up Rainbow skill says, if activated at the beginning of an appeal chance, increase the skill activation rate of all members by 1% for the next 5 notes. This also only activates at a 30% clip, which makes it considerably worse than having 2 skill activation plus medium strategy passives, which guarantees a 1% increase to skill activations in the same strategy. Or take this Rainbow Appeal Insight, which says increase base appeal by 1% until the live show ends. It activates at a 30% chance at the start of an appeal chance. You're better off searching for a Silver Passive Appeal Plus Small Group Insight. It's the same thing without the caveats. There are also Rainbow Insights for crit taps that follow the exact same formula. You're better off getting the passive. And with that, we conclude this video on training and insight skills. Do you have any SIFAS content you'd like to see from me? Leave a comment down below for any suggestions, and I'll see you guys later.